Welcome to the Harjit and Prayer show with your host, Harjit and Prayer.
Hey Harjit, how's it going, man?
Hey, Prayer, we're back.
It's been a while. I was looking at the recordings. It's like, oh wow, the last time recorded was back in April. Dang.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah,
Yep.
right. Lots were going on, right? A lot of things,
Yep.
and a lot of life-changing stuff, and a lot
A lot.
between
Let's
between
say
the
that.
two of us. We've got a lot, and
Yep.
so yeah, I think we can get back to a little bit of a routine here, and uh, yeah, and kick it up, right? So
I hope
let's say
so because I kind of missed.
we're both wearing like some Microsofty kind of shirts.
Yep.
I've got one of those too. I love that shirt.
Yep.
The
I love it.
Windows.
I got this on the Windows. It's funny. We could talk about this a little bit. So Windows 11 was announced, right? And I'm like, well, what happened to that? Like you're giving versions out again. It's because I remember I went to the New York City Road Show for Windows, where it was
Oh,
just going to
okay.
be Windows as a service. And our friend Stephen Rose was actually at the event talking about Windows, and they were giving out these shirts and stuff like
Oh,
that.
you
So
got
that's
it
where I
at
got.
that time. Okay.
Yep, that's when I got it. But I remember like the guy saying like, yeah, we're not going to give it. We're calling it Windows 10, but it's really Windows. But at some time we'll have to change it because the marketing people will say like, hey, it's getting old. We need to give it a different name. But I kind of like like we maybe because I'm not in the world, I don't see it. But like I always hear Linux people just saying Linux and then like this name, not a version. Mac OS, Catalina, Big Sur, Sierra,
Well, like the
Panther. But
like the Red Hats and stuff like that.
right, and so like like with Mac OS, there's like a name. Like I think they need to start doing that with Windows. Like not give it a number. Of course, in the code there's like a number, a build, and all that kind of stuff. And it's not going to say 11. It's going to be something in the thousands dot whatever. It
Yeah.
needs to be like Windows
Like
tree. I'm looking at a tree on my background right now, or I don't know, somebody more creative with names. You know what I mean? Like that would be kind of
mm,
cool. Like this
well,
version,
Mac.
we're called,
So
yeah.
Apple went with cities. I think. I think those are named of cities, right? That's isn't it?
It was first, big cats,
Oh,
and then it
cat.
was,
Yes.
yep, then it was mountains, and now it's like I believe it's surfing hotspots.
Yeah, because it's Big
S-
Sur, and then
yep,
okay, yeah, okay.
Catalina, right, exactly. So I think it's honestly I'm out of that world, so I don't know too much.
Yeah, me too.
But it sounds cool, doesn't it? Like Mac OS, Catalina,
Yeah.
Mac OS,
And
Panther, whatever.
how do the Linux people do it?
I don't know. They're like on a different level.
But there's so many
Yeah,
flavors of Linux, though.
yep,
You got like what CentOS, and you got the Red Hats, and you got
yeah. But like in Ubuntu, they do attribute names to their various versions, and so
okay,
typically
okay,
when I could be again I could be wrong because I'm not in that world, but like I hear people saying this term, not the number, and so I think
okay.
they need to. I wish they would do that to Windows. Of course, like there is this underlying code name and stuff like that. I forgot what they're calling Windows 11. Um, well, I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
yeah.
with
Anyway,
all versions, there's always a code name, right?
yep,
But it's not the same name as the public name.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep. So
And
yeah,
yeah. Well, there's an event coming up on June 24th at 11 o'clock Eastern Time. So I'm gonna
yep.
check it out. It'll be interesting. Yeah, I'm
Will
excited.
you be speaking at it?
No, no.
You
Yeah,
want to
but
talk about your change then, if people haven't don't know about it?
yeah, actually, you and I both had. Well, you had even more changes than I did, but we both have career changes, major career changes. And
Sure.
so, those of you that don't know, I left my previous job of 18 years at um, in higher ed, and I am now with Microsoft, and I'm a customer engineer with Microsoft on modern workspace, which is the category that's given. It's basically Microsoft 365 covering those kind of things. So I just started. I'm into my second week, and hopefully I can get this recording out in the next couple of days. But yeah, so second week, and it's been going great. It's a a lot of learning. It's a lot of as they say, drink from the fire hose. you know, it's that. And it sounds a lot, or it sounds bad, but it's not. It's just that there is so much information that you didn't know,
Right.
that for
Sure.
your growth and for your learning and for your, so you can be a better person to help customers and and the community members and stuff like that. So I'm really excited. I was kind of, I think I went through like a grieving stage when I left my previous job. When you're there for so long, like, and 18 years is really not long in the scheme of things, because I know people who have been there for 25, 30 years and stuff like that, right? It's just like, wait, you've been there that long? Like, and here I'm complaining about 18 years.
Hmm.
So, but it's just that, you become part of the system, the process, the environment, right? You just kind of blend in. You become, you know, like if you leave a rock or something in your garden, and and you don't mow around it, you just get maybe like a tree might grow, on top of that rock, right? It's
Right.
it's it's that kind of a thing. Um, but it's exciting. I'm really excited. It's a good move, and I'm sure there's more good things to come in the future. And you had a job change as well.
Yeah. So I left the University of Florida, UFIT. I was actually on the Microsoft core team at the beginning, and I was transitioning
Mhm.
to a team that was consulting on GCP, AWS, and Azure. And so I was making a transition there. But during that transition, I actually left UF and joined a financial tech company as
Mhm.
a contractor. So that this is kind of like a new world to me, like seeing how that works. So um, I am a Microsoft Teams voice engineer, helping them organize their efforts in transitioning to that platform from various on-prem things,
Nice.
to be a more modern workplace so that our employees can work from anywhere on any device, and just kind of embraced what we are calling the new kind of like workplace model
Yeah,
and
and
stuff
that's
like that.
basically what
So
I'm doing as well. And in Microsoft is just to, it's not just, but it's basically empowering everybody, right, to work the modern way, more efficiently, using the right tools and the devices and stuff like that, um, from anywhere really.
right.
Um, yeah, so that's awesome stuff. Yeah, and but for you, it's a bit. You kind of. I'm not saying you're used to this, but you were in a consulting role for several years before you joined UF, and
Yeah.
right. So it's
my I
kind of
mean
like you were.
Yep. I mean, definitely my number one, when I graduated college, my goal was to be in the same job until I retired. That's what I wanted to do, because I kind of, the way that I think is like I envision a story for my
Mm,
life, and at the end when I retired, I wanted to be says I worked for this. I worked for Washingtonville schools for 40 years and stuff like that, and look at how I helped them transition through technology and stuff like that. But had some life changes. For that one, it was we had a little girl,
yeah,
and we wanted um, my wife wanted to be able to just stay home, and I'm like, okay, let's make it work. We looked at the numbers. It's like, okay, I need to get a different job if this is what you really want. And so I found a different job and I left Washington Middle Schools and I worked as a consultant for school systems and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, and so it's just like, I was with that consulting company for 5 years, and then with UF this August would have been 4 years.
Okay.
And so I never envisioned my life that I would kind of like do this thing. But at the
Okay.
same time, I can see how I've grown as an individual and
Yeah.
also in my technical expertise. Um, Making these transitions because I had to adjust, the organizations had to adjust, and we both benefited each other because of it. So I'm thankful that
That's
it's
great.
not the story that I envisioned, but I'm very thankful and pleased with this one so far. It's
Yeah.
always learning, always pushing myself to know more, um, taking advantage of the people that are willing to, share their knowledge with me so that we can both become more
Hmm.
knowledgeable and stuff like that. And just getting to meet different people and stuff like that. This is a global organization, so we have people around the globe working to do the things, and
I,
that's
yeah.
different for me. It's like, oh
And
wow,
I'm
look at
seeing
that.
that myself. I'm seeing that myself. And
So
well said, by the way. Everything you said is like, I like the journey, the story. Um, I think you and I have a lot in common because I also was in K to 12 school systems, you know, um, and then from there I joined the University of Vermont where I was, where I left. Prior to all of that, I was with a private firm, a corporate environment, and I was traveling around the country and stuff like that. So now I've kind of like gone full circle back to back to the corporate world and stuff like that. But you hit a good point there about meeting new people and expanding that reach because now I'm like communicating with so many people, like people that I don't even know. Like I thought I knew a lot of people, right, from social media and from the IT pro community and stuff like that. We know those people that we've always been involved with, but now it's just like expanding even more, like the you know the spider web. It's incredible. um
yep,
and I'm also learning more, uh, as not only the technology aspect of things, but also from the human aspect of things, like how to even become much more nicer, much more appreciative and humble. And when you're in the right environments and environments that are give you that, you know, that opportunities and has a nice work culture and stuff like that, you just want to do more. You know.
sure. Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think we're in a good place. We're definitely gonna, you know, uh, be going to do good things, and others, in our circle will benefit from what we what we experience as well.
Yep. Yep. And for me, in my personal life, there's been a lot of transitions, which I'll discuss when I'm ready. I'm not ready to do that.
Yeah.
But one of them
Mhm.
is I'm moving back to the Northeast, specifically New York.
She just
The
moved to
role,
Vermont. I know you missed the cold.
it's too cold. I am going to miss the state of Florida. I don't want to bring up politics, but that's not the reason why I'm moving. I'll when I feel comfortable, I'll explain
Yeah.
everything. But yeah, the role that I have now is 100% remote, and
Hmm.
so I don't have to be in Florida to work here. And so we made some decisions to, transition back to specifically New York and stuff like that. And it's all good stuff. Like, I'm thankful for these decisions that we're making. It's helping us grow as people and as a family and things like that. So it's all good. But
Just
yeah,
make sure that before you actually move, that you double check your vehicle for any critters. You don't want to bring that
dude.
back.
So you know what next door is, right?
Yes. Yes.
Holy crap. So today I was just scrolling through it because as I'm moving, I'm like trying to sell some stuff and things like that. Somebody says like, "Hey, does anybody know what kind of snake this is?" And right? It's like going through their garage right next to their car.
Oh,
somebody's like, yeah, stay away from that one. That's a diamondback rattlesnake. I'm like, oh my
oh,
god, that's like so venomous. And like, don't kill it, don't do anything with it, like blah 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 blah. Get someone to relocate it. Da, da, da. I'm like, no man, burn the house down. Like, you gotta burn that house down. Like, ugh.
oh my
So
God. And this is in your
yeah,
neighborhood.
no, God, no. It's elsewhere.
Oh,
Um, so yeah, I
my
don't know
God.
if I don't know if
The hair,
people.
the back of my neck just stood up.
Yeah, I don't know if like my coworkers were messing with me, but there is a community not too far from where I live where they say, like, people have been walking along the path and like snakes have just fallen out of the tree.
Oh my
And,
God.
and I'm like, I'm never going there for a walk. So
Yeah.
um
And
it's like, I
spiders.
don't, unless you live in like Antarctica or something, like you're not going to get away from snakes. And so at the same time, I'm like, holy crap, this was a big snake when I saw that video, like comparing it in respect to the tires on the car. I was like, holy crap. But
Oh,
yeah, the lady was pretty freaked out when
I would be
she,
freaked out. Oh my God.
yep,
I'd probably run out there so
yeah.
fast.
So yes. But yeah, so currently doing lots of packing and cleaning and looking for a place to live and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah.
So
That's the
it's all good.
challenging part. The
Yep.
moving is just challenging. It's,
Yep.
you know,
But you know, one of the things I wanted, I posted a something on Twitter and Instagram a couple of weeks ago about, like, how we need to just be more real with our lives and not just post the good things. And I posted a picture and a little short video of me and my dog Harley. And hopefully, if I
oh,
cry,
yeah.
I cry. You
Yes.
know,
Yes.
and one of a promise I'm just trying to make to myself is, like, you know what?
Mhm.
No matter what hat I am wearing, if it's dad, um, or IT professional or friend, I just want to be authentic on the things that I say and the things that I
Absolutely.
write. Because sometimes life is just life. Life is
Mhm.
life. It's happy, it's sad, it's angry. There's love involved.
It's
Um,
not perfect. It's not
yeah.
perfect.
And so, sadly, um, I had to make the decision to put my dog to sleep, Harley, who I had for 14 years. And it's a yellow lab. And for a
Yeah.
yellow lab, that's just really, really old. Um, and he, his spirit was still there, but his body was not doing it. And we, as adults, as humans, have to look out for the best interests for the animal, right?
Yeah.
And realize they're not a human, it's an
Yeah.
animal. And so we
You
need to
got to
do the
make
right
that
thing.
hard call.
Yep. They can't talk to us, but when we see that it's not good, we have to make a sad decision.
Hmm.
So I'm
Absolutely.
thankful
Absolutely.
that I'm in a position in my life where I could call a doctor to come to my house.
Yeah.
And I knew I was going to be a mess. So I asked one of my friends to come over and I said, I
Okay.
just want you to videotape this, not videotape. I want you to take a video of just the last couple minutes of my dog.
Yeah, I saw that.
Um,
Yeah.
and I did that for me because, Harjit, I had no idea I could be that sad.
Yeah.
Like, I've had
Mhm.
friends pass away. I've had, like, my girls have been sick and stuff like that in the hospital. But the day before, I was in my bed and I was crying so hard and so loud, it didn't even sound like a cry anymore. It was just like this groaning because
Yes.
I was so sad knowing what was coming.
Yeah.
And we don't put that on social media.
No, we don't.
Like, I
No.
put, hey, I'm drinking a glass of Prosecco right now, or here's the beer
Mhm.
that I'm about to drink, or here's the steak, and look at
You,
me
you
on my vacation, and look at my outfit of the day. And
you make a
it's
really
like,
good point because even for myself, people always think he's always looking happy. He's always cheerful. He's always whatever, or posting like you said, like the glass of mimosa and this and all that stuff. But they don't realize that you actually are you really really super happy, or are you do you have any struggles behind the scenes? And we don't portray that, you know. So this is a really good example that
yep,
you brought up. And I know, speaking of dogs, during my childhood we had several pets in Malaysia and stuff like that, right? But pets in Malaysia, but at that time, maybe now it's different. It's been many, many, many years. But at that time, some people, when they had dogs and stuff like that, it was truly pets, and some people were like, didn't treat them like pets. It was more like,
Right.
whatever. They tied them outside the house and things like that. And but there was this one particular dog. It was a mutt. It was a between a lab and something else, and it was a mixed dog. Oh my freaking god! I remember when it was a puppy and stuff like that, and it latched on to me, and grew up like, he would come and wake me up in the morning. He would come and sleep with me. He would come and, like super like it almost like it was like your shadow, very protective and stuff. Until today, I still remember that dog. It's been like, we're talking about over 30, 40 years now. Um, yeah. And someone actually, you know, beat him. He disappeared for a few days, and then when he came back, he had, you know, a wound on his head and stuff like that, and it looks like someone, whacked him. And then eventually, it came to a point where he was suffering, and you know, we had to put him down. It was one of those things, and so I had similar experiences, but none of these things that we bring up really. We should,
Right.
you know. And this is why I always say, right, between friends and stuff like that, is that, even when you're working with colleagues and stuff, how you build good relationships and working relationships and stuff is that if you actually know each other, or take the time to know each other personally, right, you value that even more, you understand it even more. So when you have like situations that arise, instead of throwing that person under the bus, or even taking advantage for your own personal, glories, you can realize like, oh wait, no, or Prayer has been going through this. I totally understand why he's behaving this way, why he's behind in some things, or whatever,
Hmm.
or why he's running late and stuff like that. It really personalizes that, and not a lot of people recognize it, and we
Sure.
should do that.
Hmm.
You know, um,
So yeah, it's definitely been an odd year for me. Just the theme has been change, but specifically loss and
yeah,
stuff like that. And again, when I feel comfortable talking about it, I will. But it's been like, man, what a bizarro. It's
you
funny
had
because
some
like
really
we are
crazy
in,
changes.
yeah, like people have had loss and change since this thing started,
Yeah.
and we're like emerging out of this.
Hmm.
Uh,
And if
you
anybody's
know,
wondering, this is not changes due to COVID. This is just changes.
yes, changes like beyond COVID
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And as we're emerging, like people are like, oh yeah, we can go out, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, I kind of really don't want to do that. But at the same time, I know like I do have to go out for my own personal self care and see my friends, go on walks, avoid snakes, and stuff like that. And just be taking care of my own self being, and just trying to have fun and stuff like that, because as IT people, we are generally in front of a keyboard and a screen all day. It's really easy just to stay inside and for the rest of the day and not do
Oh
anything.
yeah,
And
oh
so
yeah,
for me, when it was easy to just kind of go out for a walk, when times were good and like happy every day, blah 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 blah, when it's not so happy anymore, it's actually, I feel that struggle like, oh wow, you know what, it's this time, I'm going for a walk, because even though it may not feel good in the moment, and I just want to stay here, I'm going to go do this thing, because I know eventually I will reap the benefits of it and
yeah,
stuff like that. So
yeah.
for a couple of days, it was like, for a couple of days it was pretty rough. I ate
Mhm.
crappy food, and I slept, I went to bed a lot earlier and stuff like that. But you know what? It was my first dog. I never had a dog before this guy, and he was the example of unconditional love.
It
Not
is,
just
isn't
to
it?
me. Yep. not just to me, but to my daughters, to my wife, and all of the people that we considered family and stuff like that. He was just the best. And I said this already on Twitter, but of all the beings that love me in the universe, other than the divine, Harley loved me the most. No human loved me more than that dog.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot from him. Like on one of our last walks the day before, I have been, as I'm letting go of things and selling them, there's certain things that I have attachments to. And one of
Okay.
them is my old BMW. And I'm like, you know what?
Oh
I'm
yeah.
emotionally attached to this thing. And
Yeah.
as I'm walking with my dog for the last time, I'm like, I am not emotionally attached to that car whatsoever. And he taught me that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I never would have learned that by myself. He had to teach me like what really is attachment. And I was
Hmm.
feeling it there. And it's like, yep, I can get rid of that car because
Yeah.
I'm not really attached to that.
It's just
I
things.
can move out of the state of Florida because even though we have some great times here, I'm not emotionally attached to the experience here.
Hmm.
So I'm thankful that, and then as I'm talking about it, I'm getting emotional, but it's like, wow, man, Harley, good job for teaching me that in the last moments. It's like, I
Exactly.
really now know what the good, not the good, what it means to have value in something.
Hmm. And
So
the other thing is like, I know in the past I used to dwell on things like, bad situations or negative experiences or whatever. You you spend so much time and like, oh, someone said this or someone did that to you, and whatever, and it just consumes your life, right? Your mind, body, and soul and stuff. I've now like really like, what? It's not my problem. Like they say, not my circus, not my monkeys, or whatever they call it. And
I've never heard that before.
you never heard of that? There
That's
is a
a
phrase, not
phrase?
my circus, not
That's
my monkeys,
terrible. Okay.
right? Whatever.
Interesting.
But I know I'm you know I when I communicate with people on WhatsApp and things like that or Facebook, I'm like, is that really important? Like life is so short. It is super short when you think of it. Like what's the point? Like why waste all that energy and good vibes on that? Just find the positives. Like they say the glass is full or whatever, right? Um, kind of a thing. That's how I operate now. Um, should have done it many, many, many years ago, but you learn and you know as you age, I guess you become more wiser and humble, and then you learn from uh, out of all places a dog,
Hmm.
which you never even think about it. Like they teach you things that at at one point you realize like, oh, this is all some kind of teaching to me and learning.
Right.
you know yeah, so it's good
Cool.
stuff. We're
Yep.
doing good. So anyway, so basically this episode is all about life things and our
Yep.
changes and careers and stuff like that. And I wish everybody a good life, and we both do, and we wish everybody success in their careers and good fortune and stuff like that. And we are an example of trying to be good, trying to do good things, and we're always available. Um, for communication, if anybody needs a listening ear and stuff, whether it's from a life perspective or technology or whatever, we're still the same people. We just all we did is just change companies. We're still the same,
Right.
you know, that sort of thing. So, anyways, that's all I have for
Oh, I
today.
got more, man.
Oh, you got more. Keep on going.
I do. All right. So there's a couple of things that I would say I'm a student about of productivity. Like how can I get more out of this minute? Because I just have a minute, right?
Okay.
What can I do to enhance it? So I found, of all places, I just started seeing this in my Instagram feed. I have no idea why. But it was called a Zen timer.
Zen timer. Okay.
Yep. And so it's going
Oh
to be
wow.
backwards, right? And so you can set this thing, like you just spin it and it
Mm,
changes like the timing on it. And then you can hit start
okay.
and it starts counting down.
Okay.
And then when it gets to 0, it lets off a beep. Now you're asking, like, well, what is this for cooking? Well, yeah, sure, you can use it for cooking. But what I do is I say, for 40 minutes, I'm going to put my phone in another room and I am going to work on this task and close all my notification type apps. They're down, they're shut down. And for 40 minutes, I focus on this thing that I want to do. And then the timer goes off and then I just take a break. So there's one of the names I've heard this called is the Pomodoro technique, but it's a 25-minute interval. For
Okay.
me, I use 40 minutes. Some people say, well, prayer, can't you just use an app on your phone and use a timer there? I'm like, absolutely. You can tell Alexa or your Google Home or even Cortana to set a timer for you and stuff like that. I personally, in my life, I need discrete devices. I need a timer. I need a radio because when I do that, my thinking becomes more focused. So if you're one of those people like me, or if you're just looking for like a cool timer, it's called a Zen timer, and you
Mm.
just it just spins, and you can just I have it attached to a some hand like a metallic thing to help it get me more of a grip. That's my only
Oh, I see.
gripe is that like it's hard to grip to change it, but when you stick it onto something, it's magnetic, so it sticks.
I see.
So yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty cool. So that's called a Zen timer. And this is going to be ridiculous. So years ago, I saw this wacky thing. I don't know if I saw it on TV or like MySpace. I don't know, but it was called Baby Feet, and it was
Baby
this
feet.
yes, it was this stuff that you put on your feet, and like after a couple days, like your skin would peel off and your feet would be like baby look like baby feet again, right? And so I remember looking it up at the time and it was like 20-30 dollars for like one of these things. I'm like, no way.
Okay.
So actually today I was in one of those like discount stores where you can buy like all sorts of different kinds of things. I needed a suitcase, and so
All
um,
right.
I bought a suitcase, and I was like, you know what? For some reason, this thing was in the back of my head, and so the foot thing, and so I looked in the it was of all places it was in the female like personal care section like it
Okay.
and all sorts of really cool stuff there actually like facial masks and stuff, and sure enough I didn't find baby feet, but I found like another brand that does the same thing.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can read that, but um so
Foot spa. Foot spa. Okay.
foot spa, yeah. So what it is, it's two little booties with gunk inside. You cut it open, you stick your feet in it, and you should soak them in like in hot water for like I'm sorry, warm water for like an hour, like a while to get them soft. You stick your feet in it and leave them on for an hour. So like you're watching a show or something like that, and then you rinse the stuff off, and in a couple of days, the skin off your feet should start peeling off. And so
Okay.
I did this last night, and I don't know how long it'll take, but supposedly I'm waiting to see what my feet will do. But dude, I'm telling you, go to like a video sharing site like YouTube and just look
Yeah.
up like baby foot peel and just see what's going on with this stuff, and you would be shocked to see how many people are doing this and stuff.
But what's the reason though? What's the end goal? Like,
For me, it's to be able to see my skin peel off. But what other people do is I guess it gives you like softer feet. I guess we'll see. I'll tell you in a couple days or in the next show I can provide feedback. If you're gonna do this, just
oh
make sure
my
like
God.
it's okay with what if you have like health issues, like it may not be the right thing to do.
Check with
So
your
just make
doctor
sure that,
first.
yeah, like there's warnings on it and stuff like
Don't
that. You
listen
should
to
be,
prayer. Check with your doctor first.
yeah, check with your doctor first. Like, yeah, it may not jive
Oh
with you
my
and stuff
god.
because, yeah,
I can
um,
imagine. I can imagine people listening to you, and they say, they don't have skin anymore. They're like, "Dude, I can't wear shoes. I can't put socks on."
no, that would be like funny. Like, hey, this horrible thing happened because I tried this baby foot peel and stuff like that. But yeah, and so instead of being like $30, it was like $5 for three of the things, three
Mm.
treatments. And so you're not supposed to do it every week, like once every couple of months and stuff like that. One of the warnings is like if you're pregnant, if you're nursing, if you're diabetic, so not for you, like consult your physician and stuff like that. So I'm giving you the heads up, like read the instructions and stuff.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I just like I said, I could care less about whether my feet are soft or hard, but like I just want to be able to see the skin on the bottom of my feet peel off. So yeah, those are the two things I wanted to bring up.
Oh my god. That.
They do feel weird though. They feel different. I'm like, this just feels a little strange. So
Really?
yeah, and so something's going on. I don't know what, but I'm not going to take pictures of it and make a video.
No, please
That's
don't.
yeah.
And how long do you put these things on?
You're supposed to wear them for an hour.
Okay.
Yep. And so I just watched a couple of episodes of Star Wars Rebels on Disney Plus. And yeah, and
You
then
should
I
leave
just
them longer just to speed up the process.
yeah, I followed the directions because, like I said, I didn't want my feet to melt off. That would suck. So yep.
Okay.
Ask your girls about it. Have you ever heard of this stuff? And they'll probably be like, "Oh yeah, blah 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 blah. You want to try it?" You'll have to say, "I need to consult my physician."
Maybe this is what they do at like those spas, right? The foot and hand, when you're going to get your nails done or whatever, things like that. And they do. I've
I don't
seen
know.
people like they're soaking their feet and whatever.
Oh, like you mean pedicures
Yeah,
and
those kind.
manicures? Yeah,
Yeah,
I've never got one, so I have no idea. So
yeah. But anyways, we should when we meet up, we should go and do it together.
no. All right, this is why. Would you go to the same place and get your hair cut with me? Right? I'd be like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna get my haircut when I want to get my haircut. So yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Okay, that was good. I'm literally dying. Can you imagine? We can do a show from a spa.
Yep. Harjit and I are at a relaxation spa, and we're getting a couples massage.
Oh my god!
That's our show. This is
That's our
Harjit and
show.
Prayer getting our haircut. Here's Harjit and Prayer getting their eyebrows waxed.
Yeah. Anyways, all right, man. You have anything else, or is that it?
No, I think that was it. Yep.
Okay.
Looking around.
Okay. So I think we'll call it. We'll call it for the next show.
You're making me laugh. We should, you know what? Like at Ignite, we have we have the crew meet and greet. We have the beer share. We should have a foot peel get together, or like a manicure pedicure get together. That would be cool.
Yeah, the crew meet and greet. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Whew, 2022 maybe. Oh my god.
Exactly.
So anyways, you need to move to New York soon so I can start seeing you on a more regular basis in person.
Yep, for sure.
Oh my god. Anyways, folks, this has been our show. And until next time, you'll find me on Twitter as at HOORG.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram as the IT Jedi.
All right, cheers.
See y'all later.
Fork, fork, fork.